Hey, what's up guys? As I'm Mark Yoon, and today I'm bringing another hopefully exciting video. So first of all, I want to say Happy New Year, and I'm sure all the time zones have got it covered by far, so let's hope that 2022 brings everyone as much joy as possible. And with that out of the way, I wanted to start off the new year with kind of giving back to the community a little bit by going into some of the results from a lot of the recent polls that I have posted on my community tab, so that you guys know like what everyone else in the community is thinking about these certain topics. So this is what's important to you guys, and we're going to get right into that. So the first poll that I want to highlight right here is one that I did a couple weeks ago that said, do you think offline and online fighting game community can ever be incentivized to come together? What I meant by that is, do you think there's ways that the developers can actually entice either side to come over to either side? So entice the online community to play more of the single player content and vice versa. And out of all the votes, which were 93 votes on this poll, 20% said yes, 16% said no, 40% said if both parties meet their desires, which was the overwhelming winner. 4% said gaming culture would need to change. 19% said we should all play the entire game. So if both parties meet their desires is what you guys actually voted for, was number one. And I actually do kind of agree with you there, but that's where the incentives come from. Like when I was saying they should incentivize the players, what would they need to do to get both people over? This isn't necessarily about like what each party would want in order to meet that fulfillment. This is more of like, which ways can the developers actually incentivize people? The next poll that I want to cover is, what year do you guess Soul Calibur 7 will release on the Xbox Series, PS5, and PC? This is just obviously getting a good estimate of where the community actually thinks that the game is going to release. And the first choice is what the overwhelming majority of you chose. 42% of you chose 2023. 26% of you chose 2024. 21% of you chose 2025, 7% of you chose the end of this console generation, and 3% of you chose other. And this was out of 187 votes. So 2023 does seem the most likely to me, though I could see 2024 depending on how far behind they are with their development cycle based on, obviously, the pandemic and stuff like that. So I don't know exactly when this is going to come out. Obviously, you guys will know the news as soon as I know news, but 2023 seems to be the consensus about where you guys agree that this game is going to come out and release. Another poll that I actually put out that was answered by 71 of you said, how well do you understand netcodes? Because I did a video breaking down netcodes and their applicability and which ones can be used in different situations, like how they're applicable, things like that. And 21% of you said I understand the basics. 1% of you said I know a lot. 24% of you said I kind of get it. 17% of you said I don't really know too much. And 37% of you said I have no clue. It was an important poll for me to post this one, especially with the video that I did explaining netcodes. I had to do a deep dive into netcodes myself to understand a lot of this stuff when I was making this video. But that whole I have no clue, which is the winner, the 37%, is the reason why I made that video in the first place. There is a lot of verbiage that gets thrown out there by a lot of people who hear things but don't understand the context or how they're used. And this is nobody's fault. It is human nature. It happens with literally everything. So a lot of people will just repeat what they've heard before if that sounds legitimate to them without actually understanding the concepts themselves. And netcode is very one that I see thrown around a lot. A lot of people use rollback as just a general band-aid for everything, just because they've heard the term rollback. And I've heard people say they need to fix the netcode, they need to fix the netcode, when they don't actually understand what the netcode is, because it's more of an abstract concept and a combination of things as opposed to one solid thing. Because as we explained in that video, it's just the communication between two computers to actually send information to each other based on ping data. But you can actually go check out that video, and that's what should hopefully get you guys caught up and explain a lot of that. So I thought it was necessary to make that video. The next poll that I wanted to cover was, where should Soul Calibur 7 focus their attention? This is a video that I made stating that we all want a lot of things, but what do you think should be the main goal or main focus of the development staff this time around? What do they need to improve upon the most? And 22% of you said online or the netcode. 6% of you said presentation or the menus. 2% of you said lobbies and functions. 56% of you, which is the overwhelming majority, said gameplay, and 14% of you said other. I'm a little bit more surprised at this one because even though netcode was in second place and online was in second place, I expected this to actually be in first place, but gameplay took the overwhelming majority of 56%. This might have something to do with a lot of people not actually liking Reversal Edge. Some people admittedly also don't like Soul Charge. I actually like Soul Charge, but I do not like Reversal Edge. So I can see a lot of people wanting to change the gameplay based on those specifics. A lot of people keep saying go back to like the way it was for Soul Calibur 2. I mean, a lot of the old Soul Caliburs tried everything different every time, so 2 was good. I also like 3. People seem to like 4. There's a lot of balance issues or whatever, but like that doesn't really matter too much to me. This is just what you guys said, so you guys want the gameplay to change. And I actually made another poll based on the innovation of those changes, and I said Soul Calibur used to be the leader in innovation. Can Soul Calibur 7 bring freshness to the franchise and breathe fresh life into it once again? And how would you like to see them revitalize? 18% of you said change up the gameplay once again. 18% of you said change up the modes. 12% of you said shake up the multiplayer content. And 49% of you said innovate character creation. So a lot of the actual comments that I was getting on this poll and in the video that was accompanying this poll was talking about character creation, how obviously Soul Calibur 6 was a step down from Soul Calibur 5 in terms of character creation. Yes, they did add some stuff, but they locked stuff behind certain facets, and it wasn't as intuitive or fluid as it was in 5. So I can kind of see where people say this as someone who creates a lot of characters myself. And I'm guessing a lot of my community watches me for that. This is based on 112 votes. So a lot of people want to see the character creation become more unentangled as it was in the past. And I tend to agree with them on that. And the last poll that I covered was a personal poll based on my community. This poll came in with 95 votes, and the overwhelming majority, this is not going to be a surprise to anybody. I said, what do you enjoy most about my coverage? 98% of you said Soul Calibur, 0% said Mortal Kombat, 1% said Tekken, 1% said Street Fighter, and 0% said other. So I cover a vast majority of fighting games and games in general that I enjoy playing, and a lot of those videos do views, but I don't care because I want to make them because I like those games, and it'll catch on at some point. So obviously a lot of people came to my channel for Soul Calibur, and I'm not slighting people based on that. I have become like somewhat of the Soul Calibur guy, I guess. It's a badge I wear with honor because it is my favorite fighting game franchise, so I do enjoy multiple aspects of the game and love sharing that passion with you guys. So it's good to see that a lot of you share that by being on my channel because of those reasons, but hopefully you support the other content in the future. But I just wanted to make this video to kind of go over these polls now that they've been had time to fulfill, and just see where everybody was at with what variations of questions that I was asking about this. And with that being said, guys, we're gonna bring this video to a close. I hope you have a happy new year again, and as I always say, I love it. Thank you.
And thank you.